Looking for a good block to put on point? Today I will show you how to do one. Stick with me and we'll get it done. Hi, I'm Roberta from Quilt Crafters Corner. Today's block is called Cake Stand, and it's an ideal block for on point. So let's take a look at this block and I will show you how to put it together. First we start with our half square triangles, and we have 4 of them. And that is done with a 4x8 piece of fabric, and I have my right sides together, my good sides together, facing each other, and then what I'll do is with my air erase pen, I will mark my center. So I mark my center top and bottom, and then what I do is I go out to my points. That one and then this one. All right, now that I have it marked, I will take this to the machine and I will sew a scant 1/4 inch. I'll start here in this corner. I'll sew down this way. I will pivot off and then sew up here to this corner, pivot back, come this way, and then pivot back and go that way. And then I will have all 4 of them sewn. So let me go do that. Okay, so I have sewn my lines, and now what I need to do is I need to cut this apart. So I'll start with my center line, and I'll line up my 2 middles and just cut them apart. So that now I have 2. Now I'll cut each one of these in half on that center line that I drew from point to point. And now I have 2 half square triangles. And now I have 2 more. Okay, what I will do now is I will take this to the iron and I will press. And I'm going to press to the darker fabric, and so that this lays nice and flat for me. So let me take those over to the iron and press them. All right, here they are, nice and flat. So what I'll do now is I want to square these up. I want to remove these little dog-ear tabs and make sure that they're straight to my diagonal stitching line. This way, they just go together so much nicer. Okay, there's my first one. Okay, there are my half square triangles. Now what I need is I need a 3.5 inch square of the white to put there. And there's my, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these to the machine and I'm going to sew these together so that I have rows to attach. Okay, here are my 2 rows that I just made. Now we're going to focus on this piece here, which is a half of 6 7/8 square. Now I used the first half here, and I've got the second half here, and that one's going to be just placed right in there. And what I'm going to do is I can either flip this one over or that one over. Doesn't really matter. Just flip one of these sides over and then take that to the machine and sew it. Now here at your half square triangle, you have a nice cross where your two seams met, and you want to go just right above that so you don't lose your point. So I will take this to the machine and sew it. Okay, so that's sewn together. Now I'm going to attach this one to this top row and sew that together. Okay, so there's my top row, and what I'll do now is I will take this to the machine and I will sew my seam right along there. Okay, now I've sewn it in and I've pressed it really good so that it will lay flat. And now what I want to do is I want to add this piece here. So what I will do is I will just fold this over and I will take it to the machine and I will sew it. Now make sure it's lined up so that you get it on straight. So now I'm going to take this and I'll sew my scant 1/4 inch seam. Okay, as you can see, I need to do a little trimming here to trim the dog ear off and just to even this up. And what I do is I like to line my ruler up on the square so that I can see that it's gonna square up nicely. So there's one. And there's the other one. Okay, now that I have that squared up, I need to work on these two pieces here. And what those are, they're 6 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now I also have a 3 7/8 square here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut this in half, and those are going to make these two triangles there. One's going to go on this side, and the other one's going to go this way. And this is so that they both meet at a point here. So I will take this to my machine, and I will sew my scant 1/4 inch seam. Okay, here are my two pieces. Now what I want to do is I want to cut this little dog ear tab off just so that it's cleaned up. I don't have anything in the way to get it in the way of the seam. And those two go just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'll attach one side first and then attach the other side. So let me take this to my machine and I'll sew this down. All right, trim up your little dog ear here so it doesn't get in the way of the next seam that you're going to put on. And then let's sew this one. Okay, now that I've got the last one sewn on, once again, trim off your little dog ear tab there. Now, make sure that you have a nice 1/4 inch there, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be attaching this piece here. So you want to make sure that you have a nice 1/4 inch there. Once again, kind of line it up, and now I'll take that to the machine and sew it. Once again, trim up your little dog ear tabs. And there is your block. You can use them on point, you can use them as a medallion in the center of a quilt, or on the four corners of a quilt, this is a really, really nice on point type of block. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video. That tells me whether I should make more videos like this. So that's what I have for you today. I will see you next time.